Hi. So today we are going to be replanting this Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. I am trying so hard to pronounce that correctly and I probably still didn't. So it needs to be repotted. That's one reason why we're doing this, because it is still in its tiny nursery pot. But today I found some little like sap, it's technically called honeydew, on the leaves. I'll show you guys in a second what it looks like. And so I just kept inspecting each leaf, turning it upside down, looking underneath and looking on the top, and I found a few more spots of the honeydew, and sure enough I found, I will show you guys here in a second, some scale. So that's the other reason why we're going to be repotting this. So let's just jump right into it. I'm trying to give enough view of my workspace, but you're probably just not going to see the top half of my, like, from here up. But here is the plant. We have the Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. Okay, that is what it is called. Anyways, okay, so it has been putting out a ton of leaves, but if you guys look here, let me see. This is the freaking leaf. Okay, so let's see, let's get it in focus. So if you look at this leaf, you can see some spots where it kind of looks like a little bit shiny. I don't know if you guys can really tell. So that is going to be like the honeydew that scale can leave behind. But if you look actually right here, so that right there is a scale. These are types of bugs that just basically attach to your plant and suck its life out. But if you see, watch, I can literally just like scrape it right off. Okay, see, it just pops right off. So another way that I prefer to get scale off, it's very tedious, depending on how big of an issue it actually is. I'm just gonna like balance this on here. You will need 70% isopropyl alcohol, which actually might be kind of hard to find right now because we're in a freaking pandemic, and just Q-tips. So I've got both of those here. I'm just gonna get a little bit of the alcohol on the tip of the Q-tip, and you're gonna go and want to look. You're gonna want to check the whole stem, everywhere, in the crevices, on top of the leaf, underneath the leaf. You're gonna wanna make sure that you get every bit of scale that you possibly can off. So what I like to do initially with a scale outbreak is just go find those spots, and you're just gonna wanna gently just rub them off. They will literally just come right off. So I'm just gonna do that on every single leaf and the stem, just to make sure I can get as much of the initial outbreak off of the plant. But seriously, this is like such a mild case of it, which I'm really thankful for, but still, we just want to get it gone. Another thing I like to do, especially with scale, but also with other common houseplant pests, is to fill a spray bottle with, again, 70% alcohol, because if you guys do anything higher, it will burn your leaves. 70% stays on the plant long enough to do the work it needs to on the little pests and whatnot, but anything higher will stay on the leaves too long, it will burn them, and it won't evaporate as quickly as you want it to. So especially if you do it before it gets its daylight for the day, it will stay on the plant, and then that will just create little ring spots where the light has been magnified, and it will burn the leaves. So I also like to just gently just spray the whole plant. You want to do tops again, underneath the leaves. I know that's so important, you guys. We always forget about looking underneath because we are always so in love with what's going on at the top that we forget sometimes. And then after you do that, whoa, we're falling down. after you do that, especially if you've got scale going on, just because it will benefit from being rubbed off, you just want to take a microfiber cloth. Ew, there's like a fuzz on my cloth. I like microfiber because it's not going to leave too much dust behind. And just gently wipe. Just to get it all clean. You can also just leave it on if you prefer to do that. That's usually what I'll do if I've got a mealybug situation. I will take the same 70% alcohol spray bottle, but I will just like drench them in it and just leave it. This is the nursery pot. One way to check if your plant needs to be repotted is to look at the bottom, and if you can see the roots starting to grow out, or if you can tell that they are just starting to grow around the pot just in a circle, you definitely want to repot because you don't want your plant to stay root bound for too long. Also, whenever you're repotting a plant, you want to make sure the pot that you are planting it into is not too big. So honestly, you just want to take your nursery pot and make sure that it fits inside of the pot. And it's good to have at least a 1 to 2-ish inch gap between the nursery pot and your new pot, just so that you know your plant will have enough room to grow in it. But you definitely don't want to size up too quickly, or you'll run issues with getting root rot, overwatering, all that jazz. So let's just go ahead and unpot this. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to stay in frame for you guys. You just want to I like to just kind of squeeze the pot. And hopefully you'll be able to work it out. The roots were definitely starting to get a little root bound. And if you look underneath, you can see that they're kind of trying to take the shape of the nursery pot. Some plants do like to stay a little bit snug, but nothing benefits from being like that for too long, so she was ready. Usually whenever I repot, I usually take most of the dirt that the plant was already in and just kind of shake it into the pot. I'm not really worried about this dirt because the plant had scale. I'm not too worried about it being too much in the dirt, especially since it is mostly on the leaves, not really on the stem anywhere that I have seen. And because it's not something that really burrows into the dirt that I know of. Anyways, okay, so I'm just gonna take some fresh soil, fill it up. Honestly, what am I doing? Why am I trying to use this shovel and be all cute? Here we go. I'm just gonna go for it. Okay. Alright. You just kinda wanna make like a little hole, a well in the middle. If you are somebody who bakes, you'll know that term. You make wells in the middle of your flower. Anyways, you want to break up the roots, not too harsh, but you just kind of want to like massage them so they don't get stuck growing in that circular formation, because that is not good. So I'm happy with this. I was gonna stake this plant. You know what? Actually, screw it. I'm gonna stake it. BRB. I decided last minute, why not, to go ahead and just stake this. So basically I've gotten what I'm going to use as the stake, which is just a skinny bamboo pole. You can buy these at most garden centers. I'm pretty sure I got these at Lowe's, just like in a pack. I think it had like 10, at least 10 in it. I'm going to stick that into the soil a little bit further away from the roots, just because I don't want it to be near the roots right now, because I don't want it to make any damage or anything. And I'm just going to pour the dirt back in here. Try to not get it in the little crevices. And each time I add more dirt, I am gently pressing it down, but not too hard where it's making the dirt too compact, because you don't want that at all. Also, the piece of bamboo that I have is way too tall for what I'm really wanting with this plant as far as its staking goals, so I will be just trimming those back with some garden pruners whenever I'm done getting this potted up to my liking. Oh, all over the place over here. I'm throwing dirt. There you go. I've got it all potted up. So, side note, whenever you are staking a plant, you definitely need floral tape. You can get that just like the craft store. And for me, and from personal experience, it is what all of my plants that I have staked have preferred. It hasn't bruised or just been wonky or anything, and it's cheap, you get a ton, and you can stake a lot of things with it, so that's what I'm all about. But okay, I'm gonna show you guys the staking a little bit up close. I've staked it with the bamboo, so there's the bamboo on the side, and then the plant is obviously on the side, and I've left a generous amount of room between the stake and the plant because I just, again, don't want it to get bruised or, you know, damaged in any way, and I want it to be able to grow as much as it is able. So yeah, you just kind of loosely stake it and then set it wherever you want it to go.